Hey, Steve.
Very nice. Two Lucy's in the news. Meanwhile, drugs are safer than alcohol? Well, apparently that's what the New York Times thinks. The newspaper is now going full throttle to legalize pot, according to an editorial. But would a move like this put drugs in the hands of more kids? Former drug czar John Walters joins us now from our D.C. bureau. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Fine, thank you very much. So the New York Times, on the editorial page yesterday, they said, you know, time to repeal it. It's essentially been a prohibition. I'm going to read you an excerpt, and then I want your take on it. They write, quote, "It has been more than 40 years since Congress passed the current ban on marijuana, inflicting great harm on society just to prohibit a substance far less dangerous than alcohol. The federal government should repeal the ban on marijuana." What do you say?
It's pretty stupid. They act like they live in another planet. More people are in treatment for marijuana than all other illegal drugs combined. More kids as teenagers are in treatment for marijuana than for alcoholism as teenagers. We're not keeping it out of the hands of kids and exploding a substance where we already have alcohol and tobacco, which are the single biggest cause of illness and death that's preventable. Adding a third substance is just highly... this isn't the way they treat environmental toxins. This isn't the way they treat regulations that affect the safety of Americans. All of a sudden they've decided that they want to live in the past. All the science, you've covered it at Fox, all the science almost monthly is showing more risk, and at a time when science is telling us one thing, the New York Times wants to act like it's time to be ruled by Cheech and Chong. It's insane.
It is insane. You know, you're talking about the science. You have been on this program talking about the science. It is proven that pot makes you dumb.
Yeah, steady use, especially as you start at late teens, now can reduce IQ by 8 points, which is not just 8 points. It means you go from, if you had normal IQ, you drop by a whole fifth in your capacity to compete. How do we, when we want to be competitive, we want to be good to our children, how do we lower their IQ on a wide scale? And to say that you're going to keep this out of the hands of kids, look what's going on in Denver. Disaster. People cannot keep it out of the hands of kids. It's being marketed to kids. It's being marketed at high potencies. People there are terrified. I've met with them. We're going to try to help them a little bit. But the administration is utterly irresponsible, and it's just horrifying to the people who live there.
Regarding the experiment, the legal experiment that's going on out in Colorado, during the commercial break, we were talking about what's going on out there regarding the legal use of marijuana. And you had a jaw-dropping statement regarding kids sending their kids to school are afraid of what?
Well, parents cannot send food or drink with their children. I met with some of the parents in suburban Denver because of the concentrates, because of the things that can be put in food that's being marketed in fruit juices, in brownies, in gummy bears. So kids cannot bring any food or drink to school. And this woman I met with, parent, all consumables at school have to be prepared under the supervision of school officials to prevent kids from being poisoned. It's just, why would we do this to our children? Why would we do this to our communities? It doesn't stay contained. 40 states have been recipients already by law enforcement cases of Colorado-made marijuana. When your neighbor does this, you're doing it. So this is not an experiment. This is a wholesale failure to enforce the law by President Obama.